Hi, this is Steve Strimming from XLH Sports, and we're here with Curt Mallory, the head football coach at Indiana State University in the Sycamores. And Curt, nice to see you again.
Yeah, great to see you as well.
Hey, how would you describe? Let's start with how would you describe last year? Mm-hmm. Again, we just talked about this with that conference being so loaded. Both the top teams played for a national championship. How would you describe last year?
Well, obviously very competitive conference we play in. We had a tough go at the beginning, and our team, I think, always stuck together. And I think that's what you see when you have a family. Mm-hmm. You saw a team that cared and prepared every week. The outcome wasn't what we wanted, but the family, and, there's some things that are more important in football. And you saw that last year with our team.
But that's something you and I have talked about forever. Your dad did it. It was more of, let's stick together. Let's have let's be competitive, and I think that's one of the things you kind of strive. No matter what, let's be competitive.
That's right. I got a great staff. My dad was fortunate to be the head football coach at Indiana, and he had pretty much the same staff. And I've had a lot of guys that have been on my staff throughout this whole time, and it's shown. When you return all three coordinators, this will be the first time we've been able to do that offensively, defensively, and special teams. It'll make a difference.
Would you like to mention their names?
Yeah, Brad Wilson's been with me for 7 years, and he's been my defensive coordinator, does an outstanding job. Mike Bath is going into his second year as my offensive coordinator, and Pat Shepard is going into his second year as our special teams coordinator.
I thought when Bath took over the offensive, I thought that kind of relaxed you to kind of look at the whole program a little bit more. Would you agree with that?
That's how it's been for 7 years, to be quite honest with you. I've been very fortunate to have some great coordinators here. Very fortunate to have the same defense coordinator. That's been my background, but to be quite honest with you, we're on the same page. I don't really get too much involved. I know I have all the trust in the world in Brad Wilson and the job that he does. Offensively, we've had some great coordinators. So I've always tried to coach the whole team, and be available for them, and have a little bit of input on each side of the ball.
When you look at your specialty teams, the offense, of course, the defense, but talk about the long snapper, their kicker, punter. That seemed like that came along a little bit last year.
Our punting for sure. We've got two really good punters right now, and Harry Traum and Anthony Beacom, two really, really good punters. I really think we've had some great long snappers here in this program, and Jaden Perry is right there with them. We've had some really good ones. Place kickers, we had great competition this fall. Stephen Ruiz will do our kicking, and he kicked for us last year. So all our returners are starting, so that helps.
When you look at your offense, of course, we talked about Cade, but you got a little bit of a running game. You got some younger running backs that kind of showed some sparks that they were getting it last year.
We do. We have two really good backs, and we've got two that are behind them that just haven't got the experience yet. But T. Hodge and Justin Dinker are two as good of backs as tandem that we've had. And they're backed up by two really good players as well, and Ples Lawrence and Corbin Allen. Those two are going to play quite a bit this year. But it starts up front. We do have quite a bit of experience coming back on the offensive line. That's where it'll start.
When you're looking at your wideouts, your receiving core, who stands out for you right now? And do you think you'll probably use it more with Chambers having another year now?
Well, yeah, absolutely. You always want to be balanced. It's going to start with our run game, but it should open up our pass game. Wide receivers, I'd say it about every position. And that's what happens when you get into a program. It's not against anything of any player prior, because they're a big part of this. Mm-hmm. They help build this in each room. But the wide receiver core in that room is the best it's ever been. And we've had some good ones. And the guys that have played before them are the reason why. They set the standard. But we got three really good wide receivers, as you're going to see out there, and Kevin Barnett, Harry Van Dyne, and Dakota Caton. And then we've got a lot of other guys that are going to play. So those three return as the most experience of the bunch.
When you look at your team, where do you see the strong points coming into the season? I know we've just gone through fall practice before there's even a single snap. When you're looking at this team, where do you see the possibilities of some really strong play?
Well, I think our depth at every side, on both sides of the ball has really improved. I'll start with the linebackers. We played our linebackers pretty much the whole game last year. Now we've got guys that can go in there at any time. and play real well. Same with our D line. You know, we've always been pretty deep. We've been pretty fortunate there, and this year is no different. Just inexperience. Secondary wise, I think our corner position is really deep. Don't know if we've been that deep in a long time.
Which you needed in this league.
You really do.
Because you got to stop that run, and then you got to watch these guys jacking it down the field.
And you know, we've got great quarterbacks in this league that can throw the football, so we're going to get challenged there. So you can never have enough of those guys. But the depth has really stood out defensively. Offensive line, you know, we've got a lot of experience there. Our running back situation, are really encouraged about. We got three capable quarterbacks. All have got experience. Cade being the starter. Talked about the wide receivers, tight ends. You know, I think that group's young, but they're going to be really good as well.
Now, of course, the big elephant in this is this conference that you guys play in. I always look around before the season and see, okay, which Power 5 team is actually playing anybody in this conference, and it's very little, okay? They might go here, they might go there, but they really stay away from it. Talk a little bit about this conference, and I think it's more balanced than what it's been in a long time from bottom to top. Now, of course, for South Dakota State, North Dakota, they're there. But everybody else looks like a third place, a fifth place. That's very capable.
I think you're right. I think you can go across the conference and anyone. It's wide open. It really is. I mean, every week you're playing against a really good opponent. Obviously, North Dakota State and South Dakota State have won national championships, and rightfully so. You know, I believe that the national champion will come out of this conference. If you make it out of this conference, you're probably going to win it. Someone's going to win it. But I just every week I think everyone's really good, and they're really well coached.
That's what I think too, Curt. There's a lot of good young coaches in this league, and you know we just had one recently get promoted to a Power 5.
That's right, and I think the coaching from staffs to head coaches, I think it's tremendous. You know, every week, you know, everyone's very sound, everyone's very disciplined, and very well coached.
When you look at this season coming in, where do you? I mean, I know it's game by game, play by play, quarter by quarter, but in the end, this team, even though it's young, and we're going to quotation mark around that one, but this team could definitely be almost in every fight every week for a win, don't you think?
Well, sure hope so. You know.
And what would it take to get that done?
Well, I think you know it's going to take you know staying healthy for sure. We got to be better at stopping the run. We got to be able to run the football, and if we can do that, I think we'll have a chance. But health is always a big issue. The year we went 7-4 and almost made the playoffs, you know, we were able to stay healthy up front. You know, we had some injuries at the running back position, but for the most part stayed healthy. If we can do that and run the football, stop the run, I think we'll have a chance.
Thursday night here at Memorial Stadium, Eastern Illinois comes in to take on the Indiana State Sycamores. What do you have to tell all the fans, or not only in the Wabash Valley, but around the state about your Sycamores?
Well, come watch us play. You know, we'll have an exciting year, and it'll be a fun year, and hope to see you on Thursday night.
Thank you, Curt. Good luck.
Appreciate you, buddy. Okay, thank you.